This is Obinagu village. There was a famine in the land, children crying of hunger, while elders walks around with empty stomachs. But there was a man called Bode. He has a hailing drum which does anything he requested. On seeing what is happening in the village, Bode will quietly go inside his hut, beat his drum, and requested for food. He would share the food among the villagers. Everyone will eat and be satisfied. One day, Bode was going around the village and saw some people crying, and he asked, "What is the problem?" And they told him Alake was seriously sick and was about to join her ancestors. Bode quickly went inside the hut and saw Alake laying on the bamboo bed. Bode quickly beat his drums. Lightning came out of the drums and woke Alake up. All the villagers were so happy and shouted for joy. This is the story of how Bode came to have these healing drums. Bode was a different man, living in Obinagu with other villagers. Then the war came and everything changed. People were suffering. No food, no water. But Bode has some apples hidden inside his hut. Anytime Bode brings out the apple to eat, an old man walks in and said, "Please, my child, I'm hungry. Let me have the apple." Bode will gladly give the apple to the old man. This happened until all the apple finished. Bode continued to help the villagers by giving them the little water he had at home. When the water finished, Bode took the water pot and went inside the forest to look for another water. In the forest, the old man who ate all his apple appeared to him and said, "Bode, what are you doing here?" And Bode said, "I am looking for water for the villagers." Then the man said, "What do you want me to do for you?" Bode said, "I want to free them from suffering and change my look." Then the man took Bode to his hut. Inside his hut, there were many different magical items. And the man said, "Bode, take any one of these, request what you want, and it shall be granted." Bode looked around and took some drums. On his way back, he decided to test the drums. He beat the drum and said, "I want to change my look." And boom, Bode transformed into a younger man. He was so happy. He also requested for some food, which appeared to him. Bode quickly ran to his hut. That was Bode's story. Bode continued to provide for the village needs. He provided food and clothes and shoes for the children. While doing all this, one of Bode's friend called Goke was watching him. Then one day, after their daily activities, Bode's friend Goke asked him, "Bode, where did you get all these magic drums from?" Bode said, "You don't need to know." They drank together and everyone left. Meanwhile, in the palace, the princess was so sick. All the native doctors had tried their best to heal her, but they couldn't. Then one of the chiefs suggested they call Bode the drum healer. Bode was summoned to the palace. He greeted the king on his arrival. He touched the princess and immediately beat his drum. The princess jumped up and was well again. Everyone shouted for joy. The king was so happy to the extent of making Bode a new chief in town. That night, Bode slept and had a dream of him destroying his drums. He woke up and found out that it was a dream. He went back to his sleep. Meanwhile, his friend Goke sneaked into his house after peeping through the window to see that Bode was sleeping. He was so jealous that the king made Bode a chief. He destroyed all Bode's drums and left. In the morning, Bode woke up to find all his drums being destroyed. Bode cried bitterly. Now that the drums have been destroyed, what will be the fate of the villagers? And will Bode still find the drums again? Let's meet in my next episode to find out. Thanks. Bode woke up in the morning and saw that all his drums had been destroyed. He cried bitterly. He wondered what could have happened to the drums. Then the disaster came. Hunger returned, suffering returned. Some elders fell sick, children crying all over the village. The king summoned Bode. Then Bode explained to him that someone has destroy his drums. Bode's friend Goke, who destroyed the drums, also suffer. Then the king begged Bode, please do something about the drums. My village is in disaster. Then Bode promised the king to do something about it. He quickly ran to the forest to search for the old man who gave him the drums. But they searched all the old huts in the forest but couldn't find the old man. He wondered where the man could be. Then Bode got to a river. An old woman appeared to him and said, child, what are you looking for? And Bode quietly said, I'm in search of the old man who helped me before. The old woman gave Bode a small calabash and said, go back to that hut. Rub the powder inside this calabash on your face, then you will see the way. Bode ran back to the empty old hut. He rubbed the powder on the calabash on his face, and boom, an invisible door appeared inside the hut. Bode quickly opened the door and went through the invisible door. Bode passed through the invisible door that appeared inside the hut and burst out in the land between the heaven and earth. At the first gate, the dwarfs at the gates asked him to go back, that no humans were allowed in such a place. Bode showed them the small calabash given to him by the old woman. They allowed him pass. That was how he was able to pass through the 7 gates before getting to the last one. At the last gate, they collected the small calabash from him and asked him to go inside. On getting inside, Bode saw so many peoples and beautiful houses. Then the maidens of the deceiver quarters came to him. They asked him, why are you here, woman? Bode said he was looking for the old kind man. They said he should follow them. Bode quietly followed the maidens and they took him to the queen's palace. On getting to the queen's palace, Bode was crowned a prince and was entertained with so many food and many women. Bode forgot his mission in that place. Then after 2-3 days, Bode remembered that he was on a mission to retrieve a drum. He quickly ran outside, even though the queen did not want him to go. Each of the quarters in this place has his own gate. Then Bode met a man with 2 heads. He asked him, please, I'm looking for the kind old man. The man pointed to a very beautiful building and asked Bode to go there. On entering, Bode saw the old kind man seated as a king, surrounded by many chiefs. The kind old man asked Bode, you are here? And he said yes. Bode walked for a while before getting to the old man's apartment. He entered. Bode knelt before the old man and greeted him with respect. Then the old man asked him, Bode, why are you here? Bode said, I have come for another drum. The old man said, Bode, you misused the first one I gave you. If I must give you another one, there is a price for it. Will you accept the condition? Bode think for a while and said yes. The old man took Bode to another apartment filled up with ancient items and asked Bode to choose one. Bode, on seeing everything there, decided to choose the ancient flute. The old man stretched out his hand on Bode and he disappeared back to the old hut where he came from. Bode ran as fast as he could to the village to meet his people. They all awaited Bode at the entrance of the village. On seeing him, they were so happy. They all ran together to the palace to meet the king. On getting to the palace, Bode knelt before the king and said, my lord, I have returned with another great ancient item. They were all happy for this. On arriving to the palace, Bode blew the flute, and many fruits and foods appeared before the people. They ate and became happy. But there is another thing. The more Bode blew the flute, the older he became. Bode blew the flute, and many clothes and shoes also appeared. After that, Bode went back and tried blowing the flute. But each time he blows the flute, his body changes to an old man. Then Bode realized that was the price he has to pay. After many thoughts, Bode went to the king and said, I have to bless my people because my time is up. The king rose from his seat on hearing this and said, Bode, may the gods of our land bless you massively. Then Bode blew the flutes. Many houses appeared, a new palace for the king, cars, everything became so beautiful and surplus. Bode turned the village into a city by blowing the flute so hard. After everything appeared, then Bode ascended to the land between the heaven and earth, where he collected the flutes. Bode was so happy going there. On the other hand, Bode's friend Goke, who busted Bode's drum in the past, became an imbecile and was left in abandoned huts. Thank you for watching this amazing story. See you all in my next story.
Don't forget to like, comment, and share this beautiful story, guys.